When you buy delicious Girl Scout cookies, girls embark on great adventures, explore exciting careers, gain important life skills, dream big, face their fears, and so much more. That's right, your cookie purchase equals amazing experiences for millions of girls just like me.
STMK Radio 100. You're listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 with your host, Sean L. Let and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100. 100. STMK Radio 100. You're listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 with your host, Sean L. Let and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100. 100.
Yes, this is a PSA, a public street announcement. You are now listening to a Kickback production. Light up your L's, lean back, and listen.
Good afternoon and welcome to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100. I'm your host, Sean L. I see that we have so much going on today, fellas.
What's up?
You know, we right now are in the middle of one of the world's worst things happening in the United States as far as our political scene is said. And we're going to dip into that later on in the show, and we're going to talk about what's going on with our president and our Congress. But we're going to come back and we're going to do local right here since our affiliate station in Cleveland, Ohio. And we're going to talk about the mayoral race and the four top contenders. You know, the next mayoral race will stop at the front door, police reform. And tonight, we're going to go all through that. We're going to talk about the candidates, the statements they put out, and what they have to say. We have an insight of where the candidate stands. Pro-police reform activists had an early win on their reform efforts and had removed a prosecutor and stopped a judge who set over a Cleveland police officer's trial from getting reelected. In Studio 51 with me is the police correspondent, Saxman. Welcome today, Sax.
Hey, what's going on there, Sean? How's everything today?
Everything's fine. And as always, got our man, Doug Million, sitting in the funny chair.
What up, y'all? What up?
Sitting right here. And we're going to be visited today. Later on, we're going to have a special guest in the studio, Mr. Rogers.
Oh, let's get ready to...
Let's get ready to rumble.
I want to see that sweater.
Now, you know, there is 10 possible challengers right now. There's circulating petitions for the mayoral race right here in the city of Cleveland. Councilman Jeff Johnson, a longtime critic of Mayor Jackson, and the list goes on. And we have two interesting contenders that have declared their candidacy. And we're going to talk to them later on also. But to know what's going on in the mayoral race, we're going to hear from the candidates themselves. So I want everybody to sit back and let's take this ride, and our correspondents and everybody to listen. We're going to let the candidates speak for themselves and tell you where they're coming from.
The media, I wanted to talk to the residents and the people of the city of Cleveland, and I announced to them that I'll be in the race for mayor in 2017 for my fourth term. All right. had said to them I was going back and forth as to whether or not I should run, and I created a ledger of why I shouldn't and then why I should. And on that ledger, there was probably about 5 pages of why I shouldn't, and only one thing on one page as to why I should. But I only have one reason for running, and that is the people you see behind me. And I could not just for my own comfort, for my own, security, or for my own peace of mind, just walk away from the issues that they face every day. Citizens of the city of Cleveland, our cooperative efforts with the Department of Justice resulted in a comprehensive agreement for police that gives us the opportunity for real reform and a vision that goes beyond that agreement to provide our citizens with well-equipped and well-trained police division that has community policing as part of its DNA. That is real policing reform. Now we are a city of great ethnic and cultural diversity that works together to welcome everyone. The rebirth of Cleveland is evident as we look at Cleveland becoming a destination for businesses, for new residents, for food, entertainment, and lifestyle. Cleveland is a city of movie making, the rock and roll. We put on the senior games, the gay games, and yes, this year's 2016 Republican National Convention. Throughout this city, and I talk to the people, I am reminded that we still have a ways to go to become a great city. A truly great city will be measured by the well-being of its people, and particularly the least of us. But I'm not talking about welfare and charity. I'm talking about how do we have everyone participate in that quality of life and the prosperity that this community creates. It's striving for greatness. This is the challenge that we embrace and the struggle and the fight that we take on. We will be successful because we will do it as one community. Now, some of you may have heard about last month's NBA games when the Cavaliers did not invite a nationally known recording artist to sing the national anthem. In this building, we all sang it together.
Now, that was Mayor Jackson right there announcing his candidacy. And, I want to say this, I think the mayor's in trouble, Doug.
Whole lot of trouble, brother.
You think?
Yeah, I think the mayor's in trouble right there.
A whole lot of trouble.
But before we even go there, his number one, everybody say this is the number one contender. I think he's the number 4 contender.
Number 1?
Right, number 1 contender. This is Councilman Jeffrey Johnson, and this is what he had to say about announcing his candidacy.
I'm running for mayor of Cleveland because it's all about, for me, the neighborhoods. City Hall has forgotten what's going on in the majority of neighborhoods in our community. Increased violence, education issues, housing. It's important for us to first focus on neighborhoods, to develop our neighborhoods socially and physically, and I believe that has not been done by City Hall. It's my belief that as mayor of Cleveland, that we have to change the philosophy of City Hall. We must focus neighborhoods first, and then everything else after that. Whether it's a neighborhood, residential neighborhood of downtown, Mount Pleasant, or Cam's Corner, every neighborhood has needs and expectations that are not being met by City Hall. In my career, I've shown that I will not fear speaking truth to power. And the other thing that I think individuals know about me is that I work hard, that I understand government, that through my experience as an attorney as well as an elected official for a number of years, I do know how to use government to make change in our community.
Now you have to understand this right here. You have to understand this right here. We're going to say this, that Jeff Johnson, if you notice in his talking about running for mayor, he did not say anything about police reform.
Nope.
Right.
He didn't say anything about what's going on with the city and the laws.
Okay.
But he said the neighborhoods.
Oh boy.
Okay. And I want to say this right here because the Service Employee Union came out and they was pretty hot about going on. And this is going to be a big factor here on the west side, okay, and the east side, because I believe whoever can carry the west side may be your next mayor.
West Coast is the best coast.
Yeah.
But I do believe that some of the contenders that we're going to talk about today in the 2017 mayoral election has coming down, because there's going to be 8 issues that everybody's coming down on.
Yeah.
But before we go there, the Service Employee Union denounced Mayor Cleveland Jackson in a political ad, and we're going to pull that up.
Uh-oh.
Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson made the news again.
That's usually bad news for Cleveland families. Hasn't he failed us enough? Like when Mayor Jackson shut down the buses on Public Square.
Putting RTA funding at risk.
And the homicide rate continues to climb. It's the worst in 10 years.
How about the staggering number of Cleveland families struggling to make ends meet on poverty wages?
And the children. Half of Cleveland kids are living below the poverty rate.
All this while Cleveland politicians beg their Republican cronies in Columbus to stop our city from voting on the minimum wage.
And how about this? After Mayor Jackson lavishly hosted Donald Trump in the RNC, our neighborhoods are still falling apart, and grocery stores are now closing. Mayor Jackson's list of failures just goes on and on.
Stop this insanity. Call the Jackson Accountability Hotline at 216-512-1740. 216-512-1740. Let's work together to build a better future for our neighborhoods and our families. Paid for by SEIU District 1199. Becky Williams, President.
Now, they coming hard. And Mayor Jackson got some answers. And I'm going to say this right here. These 8 issues, keeping the city sovereign, the mayor did pretty good. A plan to transform the Cleveland schools, he's going to have to answer for that.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah. Housing and the hazard of lead, he's going to have to answer for that.
Come on now.
How about the streets? How raggedy they are.
Well, yeah, the streets are being raggedy. He has to answer that. A comprehensive anti-violence plan, he has to answer for that, because you know what? He either got to hire more police officers.
Say what?
To go right. City Hall complying with the public record laws is going to be another issue.
Oh boy, here we go.
But the biggest issue that I see in the 2017 mayoral election, and it's coming straight forward, is the culture of unconstitutional policing, which is better known as police reform. Now, we have 2 contenders, and I'm going to say this. This is why I changed Jeff Johnson, Sax Man, back to number 4. Remember, you asked me why he going back to 4.
Why he going back to 4?
Okay, and this is why I'm telling you why he's going back to 4, because there is a guy that's coming with 6 guns, a bazooka, and he's getting ready to step all
rocket
in.
Launcher and everything.
You know, there's 2 contenders, and you know what? In the chat room and on Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome to join us on Stop the Madness, Keep It 100. But everybody has to understand, Brandon Kroslowski, the president and CEO of Edwards Leadership and Restaurant Institution, he's going to stand up and try to be the number 1 man, but he doesn't want to go into police reform and talk about certain issues.
Why not?
Because he wants to talk about what he did for the neighborhood and what his plan is. He doesn't want to be controversial. But we have a guy that is going to come in and smack his opponents right in the mouth. We're talking about the former East Cleveland Mayor Eric Brewer, who announced his campaign on his Facebook page.
Watch out.
And he went in. You understand when I say he went in? He took the gloves off. Okay, he took the gloves off.
He took the gloves
And,
off.
and I want everybody to hear him in his own words.
Here we go.
Wow.
Here we go.
Petitions are being circulated by Angela Davis. I intend to go official this week. I guarantee Frank Jackson will not like my announcement. I guarantee Jeff Johnson won't. I guarantee Zach Reed won't. I guarantee anybody who's thinking about putting their ass in that race will not like my announcement, because I want to bring accountability back to Cleveland government.
Now, he's talking about accountability back at Cleveland government, and he does not mix words. I'm going to tell you this right now. Eric Brewer is a force to be reckoned with.
Yep.
And anyone who takes him like the police union or anyone else who takes him like is really doing their self a disservice. And I want you to hear Eric Brewer in an interview he did, and he put it on Facebook Live, and he put this out there, and I want you to understand and listen to exactly what he said, because he is mixing no words, Doug. You understand? No words.
None.
More than the mayor. I just don't think that. I think if the mayor's at 148, I think that should be the highest salary. And if it's some extreme circumstances for people to make more, because in reality, they tell you, well, we got to attract the best and brightest minds. Really? So we got the best and brightest minds. We just asked for 2 tax increases. We got failing schools. The same best and brightest minds getting all this money double dipping. They got a screwed up police department with over 600 reports that the FBI found of police criminal conduct. Yeah. You know, you call this, this dump in East Cleveland is part of the best and brightest minds.
Now, you heard that he did not mix words right there. He went in on what he was talking about, and
it's gonna get deep, y'all.
And he's serious about that. You understand when I say serious? Now, Doug, you have
where you want me to go first?
No, I don't want you to go there right now, because you know what I said? It's getting ready to get hot in the kitchen. Okay.
Ooh, it's gonna be boiling
And
up.
Mayor Jackson has to stand up, and I'm going to say this, whether he want to talk about this or not, he's going to have to, because come September, you got 13 people running. I take that back. You got 12 now, because I think one person got out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, you got about 12 or 13. You don't have to count, because I just told you. Okay.
We want to make sure. This is keep it real.
Then, they got the wise, interesting developments, because guess what? He's going to have to talk police reforms. Yeah. Mayor Jackson has a problem where he has Steve Loomis. He has the police department where they're being blamed for certain things, and Eric Brewer is taking it to the hill with it, folks. I mean, he is going in. He is not mixing his words. So Eric Brewer is going to set the tone for the 2017 mayoral election. Jeff Johnson is either going to have to come out swinging,
like Usain
Bolt, or he's going to get knocked down.
He's going to get knocked out.
Okay. And you have to read between the lines right now, because Councilman Zach Reed, after you heard Eric Brewer was coming in, he's saying, I'm still thinking about it now.
Right. You ain't heard nothing from him.
Okay. He said he got to think about whether he can win or be a candidate that can get into it.
We ain't heard nothing.
He's trying to say his mentors out of San Francisco, Willie Brown. But I'm going to say this right now. I think when Eric Brewer put his statement out there, that he really, really, really knocked it down, because Eric Brewer not only has a statement out, Eric Brewer has a platform.
Yep.
And on his platform, he talks about the Noble Road dump. And he says if Ohio lawmakers don't pass a state law to create a violent offender registry, he's going to write an ordinance to do it himself.
Okay? He going to do it.
He sound like Donald Trump.
Okay. He's saying get down or lay down.
He walk in office and start making just.
Then he went into a statement. I'm going to state this statement. He went into a statement and said if he was the mayor of Cleveland, when the Tamir Rice incident took place, he would have been standing next to Tamir Rice's mother protesting. Okay. He says the labor agreement with the Cleveland Police Patrolman Association acknowledged that the director of law has to determine if the conduct of police officers are criminal in the line of duty. He also has to determine if the police officer was within his rights in his employment. Eric said that's a double standard, double duty, that he can't do it, and he will remove him from the thing. Okay? He would not allow the law director to make that determination. Okay? He's saying that he would have a special person make that determination, because the law director has to charge, a police officer who engaged in criminal misconduct pursuant to the labor agreement, and that's a conflict of law. And the law department also has to charge a police officer. Okay, he said they can't do both jobs.
They can't have an opinion on that.
And he goes in, and when I said he goes in, he goes in. I'm not going to quote some. I'm not going to talk about some of the cases because he has a public statement, and we're going to put his public statement out as is. He says the school situation bothered him, and that the lack of school bus services to our kids is what put taxpayers and them at a bad disadvantage and put our children out there. He said it was $40 million for children tax levy, and he can't even call a parent to let a parent know her child was missing. Okay?
What you say?
Whoa.
Eric Brewer also on his platform, and we talking about a platform. He's the only one to put out a platform and put out his stuff, and he has not mixed any words right here.
Man.
We do not need any more empty lots in the city of Cleveland, Mr. Brewer said. We can take that $10,000 and make homeowners out of our citizens who cannot afford housing.
Right.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this right now.
Say it.
He's talking about rehabbing our vacant houses and taking people who cannot afford houses and putting them in those houses and making them homeowners.
Right.
So he talking about fixing the homeless situation.
And we ain't heard that from nobody else who's been trying to run for mayor or has been mayor.
Okay.
He's the first.
HUD stand for development.
Housing and urban development.
Not tearing down houses.
Right.
Okay.
And having empty
and
lots.
charging the homeowner for
Now, the next mayor race will stop on the front door of police reform. Okay. So tonight, what we're going to do right now, we just hit the front of it. We're going to talk about them. Doug, who are all those other people in the race?
Man, we got so many people in the race. Like you say, we got let me see here.
What's
let
that?
me get this in order.
Vladimir Lucci?
We got Zach Reed. We got Brandon Krotowski.
Yeah, Krotowski.
James Jerome Bell. Angela R. Davis, and let me be clear on this. Angela R. Davis is withdrawing to back Eric Brewer.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, she did. She did say that in an interview that he did, the tape we played earlier in that interview. He said that she was passing petitions and stuff out, but I forgot she was a candidate and she withdrew.
She was a candidate, but she decided to back out so she can
she's
back
not strong
Eric
enough
Brewer.
to be, but she's strong to back him.
And we got Barbara A. DeBerry. We got Giovanni Garrison.
Yeah.
We got Landry M. Simmons Jr.
Okay.
We got Renee Saunders.
Okay.
We got Brian S. Costa. Ricky L. Pittman. Robert Williams. And did I cover them all?
Vladimir, you do
but you know what?
Vladimir of the downtown.
But you know they put some statements out. What did some of them say?
Oh man, now listen here. You got first of all, Sean, you got to understand that we got this directly from these folks' social media.
Okay.
You know, I'm not gonna get specific, but this is their actual comments from their social media and platforms. Zach Reed says he will announce whether he will run for mayor or not by April 15th. Brandon Krotowski, 37 years old, CEO of Edwin's Leadership and Restaurant Institute, says he is running for mayor.
Right, that's one of the top 4 contenders that we put him in the top 4 contenders.
As I travel through the city, I see acres of unfilled promise, he said. I see the potential of our exuberant youth and the wisdom of citizens who have remained loyal to the idea of what Cleveland could be. I see business fighting to hang on and serve communities that have supported them for generations. I also see broad disconnect between what our citizens need, the policies enacted to provide it. I see clearly, as do many others, that it is now time for change and have a plan to make it happen. James Jerome Bell, quoted from his social media, this 50-year-old of Woodstock Avenue has run for the Bell Foundation for Social Change since August 2016. He's running to restore the city of Cleveland as a crown jewel in the world. He's running for mayor to promote peaceful conflict resolutions on all various levels of mired society.
So he's going to take to the streets.
The hope and the mission of this organization is to foster and instill a physical, mental, and spiritual well-being of all people, regardless of color or other circumstances.
Okay, so he's not going controversy. You see that? You see that? He's holding up his end. He's not going controversy.
No. And I told y'all about Angela R. Davis of Beckman Avenue.
She pulled out.
She pulled petitions to run, but said last week, I am no longer running because Eric Jonathan Brewer is running, so I am supporting him.
Right.
Okay,
and that's what she said.
And we upgrade Jonathan Brewer to the number 2 contender. Remember that.
That take him from 3 to 2.
Right, with 3 to 2.
Who's number 1?
Number 1, we're gonna give Frank Jackson. You got to give the incumbent. You got to get the incumbent. You got to get the incumbent.
I understand because right now he's the champ.
Right.
You got to get the
incumbent.
I follow you. Okay.
So we're going to give the mayor. We're going to give the mayor Frank Jackson his proper respect. And we're going to make him number 1 contender.
He's the champ.
But when you
the list goes on now.
But when you come down now, Eric Brewer, we just played his video and his statement out to the public, and we did his platform.
But he's also the only. Isn't he the only candidate that got mayor's experience?
That's correct. He used to be the mayor of East Cleveland.
That's why, and plus Zach Reed's statement drops him to 4.
Right.
And
so we got Brewer's up to 3.
By Angela R. Davis dropping out Brackenborough, that takes him to the 3rd seed.
Right.
Okay,
we gonna make Brewer gonna be number 2 contender. But go ahead on with that list.
Now we're going on with this list. Now y'all got to remember that this is directly from these people. Social media platform.
Okay.
These people said this. I didn't say it. Sean didn't say it. And
Saxman
didn't say it.
No. Yeah, Saxman better know because his job on the line.
Oh boy.
I've been threatened.
Oh boy.
I've been threatened.
They still dealing with that raccoon incident.
Yeah. I almost lost my job today, y'all. They had my pink slip and everything.
Lord Jesus. Now, we're going to go on with this list. Barbara A. DeBerry, 62, said, I'm the people's candidate. I not only know of the ills of our community, I experience them every day. She says she is unemployed but works during election cycles through the Republican National Committee, the Republican Party,
Lord.
the Republican Party of Cuyahoga
Don't she know this is a
County
Democrat county?
and the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections.
But don't she know we're in a Democrat county? We're in a Democrat
Did you
county.
hear what
right?
I said? You notice I put emphasis.
The biggest county
I put
in
emphasis
Ohio,
on that. She
Democrat.
said through the Republican National Committee, the Republican Party of Cuyahoga County.
But Mr. Funny Man, go ahead on down because I want my audience. My audience is going to hear this 5-page statement by the number 2 contender to the mayor.
Oh, boy.
He is putting everybody on the spot, and he's telling them right now the gloves are off, and we're getting ready to rumble.
Okay, now Giovanni Garrison, 27, lives on Fleet Avenue and works at Touch Supper Club. He says he is a former community organizer for Slavic Village Development in Stockyard, Clark, Fulton, and Brooklyn Center Community Development Organization. He is the current program coordinator and the former board president of the Public Square Group. I am excited about my candidacy for mayor of the city of Cleveland. I've been building community in my city since I was 18. I've gained an understanding of the bureaucracy of city government and the current administration. Garrison said, now is the time to bring innovation and equity to our city departments, community development, corporations, educational institutions, and most importantly, our residents. One of my budget policies is bringing free public transportation to the city so that we can provide an option that gives mobility and accessibility to our residents.
So wait a minute. He talking about give all of Cleveland free busing. Free RTA. Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? He's going to give all of the citizens of Cleveland free RTA.
Let me finish the statement.
Wait a minute. Hold on before you finish. Is that his? Don't wait a minute. You got more to say for him?
Yes, that's what he goes on.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to hear something. Wait a minute. Hold on right here. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on right here. Wait a minute. Hold on. This is for my audience. We just connected back up with Facebook Live. Welcome Facebook, YouTube, and everybody. I don't think anybody heard this statement, but I want to play this again. This is the number 2 contender, letting everybody know that this is going to be a good fight.
I am, petitions are being circulated by Angela Davis. I intend to go official this week. I guarantee Frank Jackson will not like my announcement. I guarantee Jeff Johnson won't. I guarantee Zach Reed won't. I guarantee anybody who's thinking about putting their ass in that race will not like my announcement.
Now you heard that. You heard what the man said. He said anybody who put their ass in that race, they would not like that announcement. But I want everybody right there.
Because I want to bring accountability back to Cleveland government.
Okay, and he talking about accountability. But go ahead, Doug. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
That's all right. Because Giovanni Garrison, now y'all got to remember, this is Giovanni Garrison, the man that lives on Fleet Avenue, 27 years old. I mean, young fire. He said, and I got to back up. He said one of my biggest policies is bringing free public transportation to the city so that we can provide an option that gives mobility and accessibility to our residents that live in or below poverty. When looking at the statistics, nearly 36% of our population lives at or below poverty level. And below poverty, and that is unacceptable. Transportation is the key to providing upward mobility for anyone, and unfortunately, the city is watching GCRTA. For those of you who do not know, that's the Greater Cleveland Regional Transportation Association.
Wait a minute, where he been?
Hit a deficit without any
Wait a minute, how old is this guy?
27.
Don't he know that the Greater Transit System left is RTA now? Oh, okay.
Apparently not.
Because he said
he goes on to say,
okay.
without any attempt to assist or speak up, without any assist.
Well, let me say this right here.
Speak up.
He said the medium income household income for the city of Cleveland is $26,000, and that's for blacks, and for whites it's $48,000. Okay, so the poverty level, I don't know if he got that right, but did he say 35.4%?
36%.
Okay, so he's right in there. At least he did his homework.
He did his homework.
Right, for black people, the poverty level is 35.4%. And for whites, it's 15.9% on the poverty level. So you have to look at but the young guy has a good instant because he's talking about giving free RTA
He got 5.
To the people right there.
He got 5. He must be from Canada.
So how is he gonna pay the drivers if we driving for free?
Okay, well we're not gonna worry about that because
the maintenance, the gas.
Sacks, we setting this up right here. We would get ready to rumble. Go ahead.
We ain't even done yet.
I want to know how you gonna pay for everything for free.
This is what Landry M. Simmons Jr., 47 of Brooklawn Avenue, had to say.
Okay.
Now, this is directly from his social media. Is currently a law enforcement official of 25 years. I am running for mayor of Cleveland.
Oh, he's a police officer?
He is 47 years old of Brooklawn Avenue. He is currently a law enforcement official of 25 years.
Do he say what department he worked for?
He don't say that.
Oh,
now.
okay.
Now, I'm just giving you what they gave me, which comes directly from these people's social media platform. Whether it be this, that, or the other, this is directly out their mouths, off their fingers, off their keyboards,
Doug,
hey,
wait a minute. The chat room want to know, how long is it going to take you to get to the number 2 contender state?
Oh, man, look.
They biting
y'all
at the
just
top.
sit there. Y'all just sit there and
wait.
keep biting y'all nails. And hold on, because I got some fire for y'all.
I'm waiting.
Oh, boy.
We have the statement for that. Go ahead,
Right
Doug.
now,
Go
what
ahead.
I'm doing is building up to the crescendo, so y'all just please be patient
Okay,
with me.
chat room,
You know what I'm
Facebook,
saying?
stay
Please.
with us because we getting ready to get
Please
some
don't go
juices
nowhere.
going
You
in a minute.
don't want to miss this.
You don't want to miss this. You
But
don't.
Landry M. Simmons Jr., 47 of Brooklawn Avenue, who is currently a law enforcement official of 25 years, said, I am running for mayor of Cleveland to make our society safer, create a stronger economy, and have smarter schools. These are the main ingredients to a city the way it used to be.
Okay.
Other candidates who pulled petitions include Renee Saunders of West 20th Street, Brian S. Costa, we already talked about him, Ricky L. Pittman of Cleveland, and Robert Ohms of Bluebird Oval in Oakwood Village. And they did not reply to a call and email
Well,
for
let me
information
let me ask
regarding
you
their
this:
campaign.
did Jeffrey Johnson say anything?
Jeffrey Johnson. What did Jeffrey
Did
Johnson?
Jeffrey
You know
Johnson
what?
respond?
I don't.
Is he still hiding?
I think he hiding.
Jeff
'cause
Johnson,
I
you
think he
got to
hiding.
stop hiding and come
He's
out of
real
this.
quiet. He real quiet.
I
Him,
see a
yeah.
whole bunch of stuff here, but I don't see nothing from Jeff.
Okay, well, let's get. Wait a minute. The chat room is jumping on this, and I'm gonna say this right here. We had the 4 top contenders for the mayor's race when we started the show. We went through all that stuff. I told everybody that Mayor Jackson is in a fight for his political career, and technically, Mayor Jackson has a lot of problems, and I'm gonna keep it 100. He may not make it to the first 2.
I don't think he's gonna make it, honestly.
And the one guy that jumped in, I'm gonna tell you, this one guy, I played his 2 statements on video already. There's one around, and he has given us a 5-page statement off of his social media platform, and I want everybody to listen to this. If you cannot hear us on Facebook or any of our social media things, YouTube Live, welcome for joining us now. Snapchat, go to STMK Radio 100's Facebook page, click on the Ustream link, and come right into Studio 51 with us so you can get the audio as we broadcast over internet radio. We also like to welcome our 17 affiliate sister stations on internet radio, and we are broadcasting live. And without further ado, we're getting ready to start the fireworks here in the Cleveland mayoral election. And grab your seat because this guy goes in. And I know a lot of people say that he's over the top, but I'm going to tell you right now, the fight is on. So without further ado.
Ladies and gentlemen, weighing in the blue corner. Let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this is a statement put out by Eric Jonathan Brewer. Now, I need you to understand, these are not my words. This is no shucking and no jiving.
Right, if you want to check
I have been instructed, not only by Shell, but Sean, but by our producers, to read this verbatim.
At gunpoint.
Let him say his own words.
And
we have
without
to.
further ado, chat room, I hope y'all is listening.
Oh, the chat room's fired up.
Man, y'all better get whoo-wee. Eric Jonathan Brewer statement. Fuck the $337,000 Mayor Frank Jackson has raised from corporate Cleveland. It ain't enough. And I'm telling my friends first, I'm excited about challenging him to become Cleveland's next mayor. When I heard Jackson's announcement, I got pumped about seeking your help to collect the 300,000 registered Cleveland signatures needed to get on the ballot. If his best intellect and knowledge is what I saw and heard on display in Ward 1 last week, it ain't enough. He said a lot of people were coming after him. I'm one of them. For real. I hope he doesn't try to hide from me, and I ain't worried about the others. This race will be between me and Jackson in November. He already knows. It's a damn shame when a mayor says he works for city employees instead of the residents who voted for him like Jackson did during his re-election announcement. The normally confusing Jackson did not lack clarity when he announced his reason for seeking a 4th term in office as being because of them, the people behind him. Remember his words. Jackson said he identified 4 pages of reasons why he should not seek another 4 years. I'm at 100 pages. He admitted there was only one reason, on one page to justify why he should run. And he pointed to the people behind him, their city and campaign workers. The taller man the Jacksons left with the gray tie is Darnell Brown, his chief operating officer. I want you to think long and hard about what it means for a mayor to admit he works for employees, not the voters, taxpayers, and a city's inhabitants. Let's first look at the numbers. 82% of the workforce in the city does not live in Cleveland. His words, not mine. That's what Jackson shared at Ward 1 meeting. It means the overwhelming majority of workers in the city can't vote for the mayor who oversees them. We've long complained that the city's employees who work for us are not being held accountable.
Oh, no. Did you say that?
Yeah. Ones we know are wrong don't get fired for misconduct or prosecuted for the crimes they commit. What the picture reveals is that because Jackson works for them, he's allowed non-resident city employees to control the process of our government so they can ignore what the law requires when they're caught in the wrong. It's all of them. It's not just the police. It doesn't matter that they look like us. We should all feel deceived. Think about it. The tax increases Jackson and the council seek, and the reasons for them cannot be legitimate. They say tax increases are for the kids or for our safety, but who's Jackson's working for shows they're not. It's why, after a slim majority of Cleveland voters gave Jackson's suburban city workforce a $40 million tax increase last year to improve resident safety, non-resident police still don't respond to shootings or react aggressively to find missing 14-year-old resident girls like Alania DeFreeze.
Oh, he blaming the death of the young girl on the mayor for the mayor's failure to have police officers and failure to have busing.
It's why non-resident city managers don't get fired for supervisory failures that lead to cops shooting residents, kids to death, or strangling Cleveland residents with mental disabilities. Seriously? Some non-using...
Oh, no. Did you say that?
Some non-resident city workers are trashing all over residents and stealing our tax resources while they control our fucking government. Jeff Johnson can talk all that neighborhood shit he wants, but he lives in Twinsburg at the home his wife just bought in December 2016. He's a Summit County resident, not a Cuyahoga County resident. He ought to just tell the damn truth. He ought to just tell the damn truth and keep his ass out of the mayor's race. 31 years of nothing is all we've ever received from this guy. Ken Johnson's got some scam going where he answers the phone for 5% committeemen. Residents say his double-dipping ass lives somewhere else, too. This is the chaos Jackson reigns over as mayor and why no one at City Hall really gives a goddamn shit about the people of Cleveland. 100 non-resident police employees invade another city and murder 2 unarmed resident citizens. No problem.
Wait a minute, Doug. Hold on. Take a breath for a minute. People, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, welcome to be with us on Stop the Madness. We're reading a statement of Eric Jonathan Buer,
and I'm just about 1.5 pages
who just he released a statement. He lives in the city of Cleveland. Yes, I see Facebook asking all these questions. Yes, he's going in. And he is getting ready to put a platform together for Mayor Jackson. And I want everybody that's joining us right now, give him a minute here, Doug, for everybody that's joining us. This is the audio statement that he gave out that we're playing. But we have to read his 5-page statement because that's the only way that he would give it to us off of his social media platform. But we do have him personally on audio.
I am, petitions are being circulated by Angela Davis. I intend to go official this week. I guarantee Frank Jackson will not like my announcement. I guarantee Jeff Johnson won't. I guarantee Zach Reed won't. I guarantee anybody who's thinking about putting their ass in that race will not like my announcement because I want to bring accountability back to Cleveland government.
And he said he's going to bring accountability back. And on some of the stuff we're reading right now, he had a question about that. And for the law enforcement people in the chat room, Yes, he did say some things that's going to go front and center on police reform.
Yeah.
And we're going into that right now because police reform will be the issue of the mayoral race for 2017.
He's been sitting
And
around waiting for this.
I'm going to let you hear it in his own words. He is a individual, and I'm going to say this, who's running for mayor for the city of Cleveland that you better not underestimate. And you better take serious. And you better understand that he is serious about saying what he's going to do. I have some platforms right here that came up, and we talked about his platform earlier. And I'm going to say that he is the number 2 contender in the race, and Mayor Jackson
Hands
going
down.
to have to put on his big boy pants, and he's going to have to stand uno, or he's going to get stepped on and not even be in the runoff.
You talk about a guy saying what he mean and mean what
But
he
he
don't
said,
say.
right, he is.
This guy is saying it, and I'm gonna pick up right where
But
I
hold
left
on,
off
don't
at.
before you go. Hold on before you go back there. Hold on before you go back there, because Snapchat just came in with us, and before you go there,
welcome.
I want them to hear his
to make
second
more than the
statement.
mayor. I just don't think that. I think if the mayor's at 148, I think that should be the highest salary. And if it's some extreme circumstances for people to make more, because in reality, they tell you, well, we got to attract the best and brightest minds. Really? So we got the best and brightest minds. We just asked for 2 tax increases. We got failing schools. The same best and brightest minds getting all this money double dipping. They got a screwed up police department with over 600 reports that the FBI found of police criminal conduct. You know, you call this, this dump in East Cleveland is part of the best and brightest minds.
I mean, he's going in. So right now, we was reading his statement, and we're going to pick up right where we left off.
All right. Now, this guy was talking about Ken Johnson, and again, just so that you understand that these are his words and not mine, and I am reading them verbatim. We're going to pick it up where we left off. Ken Johnson's got some scam going on where he answers the phone for 5% committee man. Residents say his double-dipping ass lives somewhere else, too. This is the chaos Jackson reigns over as mayor, and why no one at City Hall gives a goddamn shit about the people of Cleveland. 100 non-resident police employees invade another city and murder 2 unarmed residents? No problem. Rig and obstruction and obstruct the legal process of our resident citizens? No problem. Government to protect their jobs and pensions, a water department administrator illegally awards $340,000.
And he's going in on everybody.
Change order to a contractor without council approval. No problem. Call it an administrative mistake and not a second degree misdemeanor. Dereliction of duty and obstruction of official business.
Ooh.
How many times have we asked Jackson in the past 4 years to fire Martin Flash, Michael McGrath, and Calvin Williams for police violence found in a U.S. Department of Justice investigation confirmation over 600 cop crimes?
And you know he's going off, before you go back any further, you know he's going off of, he's using the CPPA own words against them. Because remember, the union called for their resignation and firing also. Go ahead, Doug.
Why are they still on the motherfucking job? Any cops prosecuted and convicted for the crimes we know they committed. Ain't nobody in this community holding their breath. The imagery Jackson's backers create in the picture should actually piss you off for its cynical disrespect, and we should not be fooled. The picture is staged. City Hall and Jackson campaign supporters ain't that black. What? No white people? Motherfucker, please. All them black faces behind Jackson.
What'd he just say?
Motherfucker, please.
Oh, no. Did you say that?
Yeah, he did. All them black faces behind Jackson ain't nothing but a political illusion designed to create an appearance that the descendants of slaves are behind Brother Mayor because he works for them. The people pictured are either city or campaign workers living well off our tax dollars or expecting to get back a piece of the $337,000 dollars he raised from the other people he works for. Corporate Cleveland. What the picture confirms with the presence of his chief operating officer, Brown, dollars will be his hidden campaign fund. This means Jackson will have roughly 7,800 full and part-time workers he's working for who will be ruthlessly trying to convince you to re-elect him so they can keep fucking up, covering up, and getting paid.
Oh, no, he didn't say that.
Brown's presence, yeah, he did, and he went deeper. Brown's presence confirms that even though it's illegal to campaign on city time, there's no chance any Jackson-friendly non-resident employee using city vehicles to drop off his political signs and literature or to remove the signs and literature of his opponents will ever be held accountable. That's why I'm running for somebody's, because somebody's got to refocus all of City Hall's attention
Wait a minute.
on
Hold on, Doug. Hold on. Because I want to bring the chat room in. But somebody in the chat room just said he's cussing like a Sailor Lee with some alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going in. And I want to say this right here. This is why I moved him. And I said this when I was at talking with the police officials and city officials and talking to people and going into the town halls. He makes Frank Jackson a target, and he has no problem with saying what he want to say. So he's going to make Frank Jackson answer to some of these questions that he's calling, and he's calling Frank Jackson out.
Lay down or get down.
Okay, and Frank is either going to have to step up to the plate.
Lay down or get down.
Or Frank going to get left behind. And Jeff Johnson, he got to quit hiding.
This cat is coming in like, I'm going to whoop your ass or you going to whoop my ass.
As in the chat room, somebody said, I'm looking on Facebook Live, it looked like Mud is getting ready to get slinged here. Go ahead, finish up that statement.
That's like
somebody's got to focus all of City Hall's attention on Cleveland and Clevelanders and no one else. So I'm seeking the nomination to become Cleveland's 57th mayor and its best ever. I'm that competitive. And he said that in capital letters. Competitive when it comes to work. Competence, reading, diligence, understanding, insight, compassion for the people have never been an issue for me. I strive for a high level of proficiency in everything I do. Shit, I look so good in drag, one of my opponents told someone I look better than his wife. Did you hear what I said?
No. Did you say that?
This man said shit.
No. Did you say that?
Yes, he said shit. I look so good in drag. One of my opponents told someone I look better than his wife. And if that's the best you got, it ain't enough. Don't let my sexy ass and panties distract you from the political ass whooping that's coming. I've already been prime time and handled that shit. Frank can't touch me. Johnson can't touch me. Reed can't touch me. The Russian dude can't touch me. Look at their Facebook pages. What Zach got? What Zach get? 3 likes, 1 share? What's on their pages?
Facebook is came in to the mayoral election, and people, I'm gonna say this: Eric Jonathan Brewer is not a person to take lightly.
He's a beast,
and he's letting everybody know that there's going to be a fight for the 57th mayor position, and he has clearly stated he's going to do some heavy police reform.
This cat is getting serious.
Go, Doug. Could let him finish that before. I don't want to cut Jonathan off.
What's on their pages? Pictures of them? I've reviewed all their pages. They've never uploaded a single piece of legislation they're working on in council and asked their friends to offer their opinions on it. They don't share council schedules, agendas, legislations, or minutes of meetings. They don't upload the city record where every act council has engaged in for the beginning of the city's history is recorded. http://www.clevelandcitycouncil.org/legislation/the city record.
So
They
he's
don't
telling you
even
to do it.
He telling you to do it.
Go look at their page.
They don't even bother to Facebook Live their inside council caucus discussions, or committee meetings. They share nothing. They teach nothing. They take all. All of them are responsible for the dump that's affecting over 100,000 around wards 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'd be ashamed as a knowledgeable elected official to have an exclusive group of friends with whom I don't share what I learned to strengthen their base of knowledge, especially about open government.
Hold on for a minute, Doug. Hold on. Facebook Live, Snapchat, Instagram. Welcome to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100. Right now, we're reading the statement of a mayoral candidate, Eric Jonathan Brewer, and he came out swinging, and he means business. And he wants everybody to know that if you take him lightly, what he's going to do. And he told Mayor Jackson, and he told everybody else in a video, audio, how he feel and what he was going to do. And I want to play that one more time for my social media outlets so you can know. And I'd like to welcome our sister city in San Francisco, KALW.903 on internet radio. Thanks for coming and listening with us. It's Stop the Madness, Keep It 100. We are now talking about the 57 mayoral race in the city of Cleveland and the number 2 contender who's about to knock Frank Jackson off his seat, Mr. Eric. It's going to be in his own words.
I am, petitions are being circulated by Angela Davis. I intend to go official this week. I guarantee Frank Jackson will not like my announcement. I guarantee Jeff Johnson won't. I guarantee Zach Reed won't. I guarantee anybody who's thinking about putting their ass in that race will not like my announcement, because I want to bring accountability back to Cleveland government.
Now, he issued a 5-page statement, and that's what we're reading online right now. His 5-page statement to the residents of the city of Cleveland, what he's going to do, what's been happening for the last 13 years,
Drama.
the failure of the police department, the failure of city government, the failure of social workers, the failure of directors within the city, of awarding contracts and not properly doing it by law, and the failure of the council people. And he is not mixing any words. Go ahead, Doug, finish that statement so we can move on right there.
It was once against the law to educate the descendants of slaves in this state. Failing schools under Jackson and this council tell me it's still against the law. Not on my motherfucking watch. I don't fail to educate my friends here. I'd never failed to educate Cleveland children and residents as mayor. I didn't learn a damn thing from Jackson's breaking news announcement other than he works for the employees of City Hall. In truth, he is one of them. It's the only place he's ever worked after earning a law degree, and he's too close to the city's workforce to be an effective manager. Sometimes non-performing employees have to be fired, even if they're your friend. The criminals among them have to be prosecuted and convicted, even if they put up your signs and donated to your campaign. The office of mayor does not belong to the individual, it belongs to the people. The duties of each office are found in constitutions, laws, and ordinances that I'll swear to obey and enforce. I already know how this goes. You already know how I think. And some of you have up-close experience with how I work. There are cops who know none were hired until I interviewed them. My former cabinet members will tell you about the 3 a.m. emails they got from me when they...
Oh, did we go back to the 3 a.m.? Who said that the first one, the 3 a.m. call? Hillary Clinton said that about Barack Obama, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who's going to answer that 3 a.m. call? Eric Brewer is slaying. He's serious about this, people, and I want everybody to know that I'm going to try to get Eric Brewer on my show. It's going to be hard because I'm a retired police officer, and we did have some words, and we're not thing because we did go at it, and I gave him a piece of my mind. But he is going to be a field to be reckoned with in this election, and everybody should understand that. We cannot turn and pass, think Eric Brewer is going to be passed over. I told police officials the same thing. They better understand that Eric Brewer is going to do hard police reform, and he's not joking. If he say he's going to do it, he's going to do it.
You better believe it.
I talked to some union officials from the East Cleveland Police Department who said that Eric Brewer was the only mayor who fired a civil service chief, and it was upheld by civil service. Now, I do know on some of the platforms that he said he was going to do, and I'm going to bring that back around, is that he said that he was going to take, and I'm not going to quote this, people say that he said, so I'm going to put this on a form for everybody to understand. This is not Eric Brewer's words, but on police reform to take away binding arbitration. Today, our state legislators has put in laws to bring us into a right-to-work state. That's to take union rights away from union employees and only allow the union to talk about wages. This is some stuff that the unions and everybody has to realize. And I'm putting Eric Brewer as the over Jeff Johnson because Jeff Johnson act like he's scared to step up to the mayor, and Eric is not scared to step up, and Eric is putting us there. And I do know that being in the town halls, being out here in the neighborhoods, that Eric has a following. Okay, he has a following. So don't think that he's out here just saying this and nobody's listening to him. He's not a nut. I want everybody to understand this. Eric Brewer is not a nut. He is a foe. You need to treat him as one and take him serious before you look up, and he might be the 57th mayor for the city of Cleveland. And everybody said Donald Trump couldn't win.
Right.
You better remember this,
Right.
folks.
Right.
We set a system up, and that system right now is accountability. And the anti-police right now is batting 100. And I'm going to say this, police reform is on 100. Not only did they take the prosecutor out, they took a judge out, okay? And they took a lot of mayoral positions out, and they put a lot of people in positions, okay? And those people are going to come out with that platform. There's nothing we can say about it. We're nothing can do. And anybody who thought that Donald Trump could make law and run the city of Cleveland, you're going to get a rude awakening when you find out that the mayor runs this. So it's going to be a tough race. But we're going to finish up with his statement. Then we're going to go in and talk about what we think about the race. Go ahead.
All right. My former cabinet members will tell you about the 3 a.m. emails they got from me when they arrived at work. Residents displaced in large fires know I showed up with the Red Cross, food, physicians, medicine, and ensured they found lodging. There's a radio talk show host who spoke to my friend, the late Loretta Nichols, who told her that the residents I serve knew more about the city and government than any other when they called in. WEWS TV 5 rated the streets I kept plowed the best plowed during Northeast Ohio winters. Ask the former workers from Huron Hospital. They'll tell you getting to East Cleveland was a problem during winter months. Getting through East Cleveland wasn't. A nurse said they always knew they were in our borders because our streets were plowed and salted. Some of the mayors in the consortium got pissed when I pulled out because I could buy salt for $7 a ton less on my own instead of paying fees that kept a former mayor's kid in a job. East Cleveland or his kid. I chose the city. I'll do the same for the residents of Cleveland if you help spread the word. Jackson said there are a lot of people after him. I'm one of them, for real. And for the record, I'll deal with President Donald Trump. There'll be no stop and frisk. Fuck a militarized police department. Cops better not conduct suspicious license plate searches. The smell of marijuana will not be probable cause. If cops do smell weed, the only thing I want them to say is, damn, that shit smells good.
Yeah, wait a minute. Say that one more time.
He said,
did you hear this?
He said the smell of marijuana will not be a probable cause. If cops do smell weed, the only thing I want them to say is, damn, that shit smells good.
Oh, Lord.
Unless y'all done fuck somebody up, and if a council won't pass it as an ordinance, I'll get the signatures from you and we'll make it a charter amendment. And I've already told the person who wants to be my safety director that if he allows a cop crime to be converted to an administrative offense, he'll be arrested. Ohio law does not allow cops to disobey any federal, state criminal laws. My friends already know. Steve Loomis, and you have my words on this, better keep his mouth shut about my police union president twice for that shit. Loomis is a patrol officer. He better stay in his place. There is nothing equal about a mayor and a patrol officer, and you can believe that shit. And yes, Cleveland will be safer. The gangs are people. I'll reach out to the people who find survival in that world instead of another, and I'll work to bridge those calls. I will work to bridge those worlds for those who want a way out. We'll solve the crimes that are the root cause of some of their anger, and we'll work to address the issues of their lives that have left them displaced. Our people excessively and overly prosecuted. The first place the injustice begins is under mayors, councils, city prosecutors, police, and municipal court judges. I know what I did to stop the over-policing in East Cleveland with a good judge and Sandra Walker, and a knowledgeable civil rights oriented law director and chief prosecutor in the late Almeda Johnson. I've already begun to talk with key people about how I want a pro-Cleveland workforce and civil rights changes in the law department. We'll talk. I'm letting the political enemy I know is watching to try to trash my plans to hold them accountable. Y'all say y'all want to help, then I want your help. Spread the word. Help me get on the ballot. Help me win. I cannot do this without my friends. Let me know if you'll circulate a petition. And that's what Eric Jonathan Brewer had to say about throwing his hat in the ring. And I'm going to tell you what, Jonathan, Eric Brewer, I owe you an apology for picking on you. I ain't going to stop picking on you because I'm a comedian and that's what I do.
Right, that's what we do.
But, brother, you got my vote.
You got my vote, too.
I'm not going to say he has my vote, but I'm going to say this. We're going to have to go pay some bills, and we will be right back in 1 minute. And on Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram, I want you to stay with us.
AP Update, I'm Ed Donahue. The Trump administration says it will revise a travel ban executive order that is now blocked in court. The administration says it doesn't want appeals court review. Meantime, the president just wrapped up a news conference at the White House where he said his administration is running like a fine-tuned machine, but that message is not going out.
The press, honestly, is out of control. The level of dishonesty is out of control.
The president says he would like better relations with Russia, despite what he calls the political cost.
I know politically it's probably not good for me. Hey, the greatest thing I could do is shoot that ship that's 30 miles offshore right out of the water. Everyone in this country is going to say, oh, it's so great. That's not great. That's not great. I would love to be able to get along with Russia.
The president spoke at the White House today. To maintain the element of surprise, President Trump said he won't forecast how he'll respond to provocations from Russia, North Korea, or Iran. AP Update. I'm Ed Donahue.
Napa know-how. A Napa guy knows that by the foot, there's no better ride than an old station wagon. Room for 6 people facing forward, 2 people facing backward, and a whole lot of luggage, lumber, and bicycles haphazardly strapped to the roof. If you can parallel park that beast, you can park anything. And with some quality parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep your land ship running longer, stronger. It's not obsolete. It's a rare treasure. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Yes. Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us. Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the wacky waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the wacky waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com. Then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico.
And now back to John with the weather.
Yes, Andy. Tonight, a big storm. Storm this! Get the soccer offer from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. With every 2 medium pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. Yes, a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. Yes, Pepsi soccer ball. 4 cans. Don't miss the Pizza Hut and Pepsi soccer offer. With every 2 medium pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. What about the weather, Eddie? Don't resist and call 19,000 now.
Hello?
Hello, sir. I hear you having problems putting together your new kitchen unit.
Oh, yeah, the instructions say that...
What now?
The instruction manual. It makes absolute...
Stop reading that.
Well, what would you suggest I use?
I suggest you use the fact you're a man. Huh? Guys who got pride never relied on no guide, sucker. I'll give you some step-by-step instructions. Buy Snickers, remove wrapper, bite chocolate, and get some nuts.
Go to GetSomeNuts.tv for more Snickers man coaching.
You're listening to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100 with your host, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100, 100, 100, 100.
Welcome back to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100. I'm your host, Sean L. Before we went to the break, we was talking about mayoral candidate Eric Jonathan Burrow, who is the number 2 contender in the race, who has just served notice to Frank Jackson and Jeffrey Johnson and anybody else who got in the race. And I think that everybody need to take Mr. Burrow serious, and I'm going to have to look at his candidacy a little bit better and make sure that he is also come on, Stop the Madness. We're going to open up the phone lines right now. Our number is 1-866-484. That's 866-484-7865. That's 866-484-STMK. 866-484. Stop the Madness. Give us a call. We're going to open the phone lines for the rest of the day. We're going to have a free-for-all Thursday where you can make your comments and say anything you like to say. We'd like to welcome our sister station, KALM, in San Francisco. Thank you for picking us up. And welcome to Stop the Madness.
Appreciate y'all listening in.
But you know, Doug, Eric Jonathan Brewer and his platform, and I'm going to speak to his platform right now because we're going to go into that right now on this second hour of the show. He has a very serious platform, and I know everybody was going to say that he's crazy, he done lost his mind. After reading his 5-page letter, and he put that letter out, he is serving notice to Mayor Jackson and Jeff Johnson that they're not going to tiptoe around issues right now. And just like Sax Man, you did after hearing that letter, and everybody in the chat room started yelling and screaming and putting their thumbs up, okay? His message touched a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And in the chat room right now, and I'm talking about chat room around the United States right now, we have 2,900 people in just the one chat room, a Snapchat and YouTube Live. And read some of the stuff they're saying in the chat room.
All right, this is what's going on. This is what's happening in Chat City, man. This is straight up out of there. Let me see. Where we gonna start at, man? I mean, whew, where can we start at? We're gonna start with Peggy Day. Peggy Day said, "Nice alternative to Taxon Jackson, and no, and nowhere Johnson. But then again, I can't vote because I don't live in Cleveland. And as I see it, none of the surrounding suburbs will ever want the burden of being a part of Cleveland. Right now, people go into work and get out to go home. And if taxes continue to rise, they won't even want to do that. Too many more places outside Cleveland to work, shop, and be safe." We got M. Peacock. And folks in the chat room, if I'm not saying your tag name right, just please forgive me, because I'm so not Mr. Technology. But
he fell down the steps and hit his head.
Yeah, he fell on the steps. Don't worry
my
about
mama
it.
dropped me on my head several times on purpose.
On purpose?
Stop it.
But what happened? Go ahead.
M. Peacock said, "Brandon brings a unique perspective to important issues: criminal justice reform, the education system, and neighborhood revitalization. Hopefully, his presence in the campaign will shape the narrative,
But you
win
have to,
or lose."
Right, but you have to look at this. Eric Jonathan Brewer's statement overshadows everybody because he comes so hard and he comes front and forward because he promising the citizens of Cleveland that not only he's going to put Steve Loomis in his place, and I said this at the town hall and last week on the last show, Mayor Jackson has to carry the people that's with him. Marty Flash, McGrath. I hate to see Calvin get put on there, but Calvin Williams. And Eric is promising that his safety director is going to fire them day one. That's what the statement said. Day one, that they're going to fire him.
I don't see what
Here
problem
goes something
would
interesting
he
they
have
had to
with,
say in the
Calvin?
chat room.
Go ahead. Let me see the chat room.
This is EBBUCATE, Evocate, at NRWM. True, Jackson is loved by the party and his citizens. I Hate Snowflake said, "Everything I have heard about this guy is 100% positive. Go Brandon." I Love Cleveland said, "And the first possible threat to Mayor Jackson campaign may have just arrived. Sorry to the naysayers, but entrepreneurs make a very good elected officials. They know how to create, budget, manage, and are highly motivated individuals. I think he will run an honest to goodness campaign, or at least he claims he will. Something we could use around here."
Well, I'm going to say this. I was talking with police officials yesterday. I tried to get a statement from the unions and everybody. Police reform is going to be the number one issue in the city of Cleveland come June, okay? There's no way around it. And the platform for that is really coming to the thing. It's training, accountability, the anti-police movement, and I don't want to say I shouldn't, but that's what it is, the anti-police movement. And we're not talking about Black Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter is not an anti-police movement. So let's not get
It's
that.
a pro-life matter.
Right, pro-life matter, whatever. So we're not even going to get into that discussion because we had that discussion forward with the chat room. But what I'm talking about is we have people who actually are putting politicians in position that if they do not run on accountability, training, and police reform, they're being removed from office. And the classic example here in the state of Ohio, in the city of Cleveland, is the prosecutor was put out of office and the judge was stopped from going to the Ohio Supreme Court. We also have legislators downstate that already has picked up on this movement, and they are introducing legislation. Senate Bill 5. I told everybody Senate Bill 5 was coming back last year, and everybody told me no, Senate Bill 5 wasn't going to never come back. But they have just introduced legislation for the right to work for the state of Ohio.
Oh, boy.
And the right to work for the state of Ohio is to strip unions of their bargaining rights.
Yep.
Where unions can only bargain for wages. If it ain't about wages, they have no rights to tell the city what to do.
Say nothing
And I want to say this right here. Think about that for a minute, because these are Republicans putting the right to work to strip the union of their works. And then you got a guy like Eric Jonathan Brewer who comes in and telling you what he's going to do and how he's going to do it and how he's going to force it down and how he's coming on that anti-change. There's going to be hell to pay for people wearing uniforms in the city of Cleveland.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and the city workers. I mean, I'm going to go all the way down the line. His number
when
one
you say
thing.
uniform, you mean like city workers' uniforms, or
What I'm saying uniform is his number one goal and his platform to say, and I read his letter. I heard him when he was on the show. I'm trying to get him to come in and we can go back and check. He said that he's going to fire and put Steve Loomis in his place. Now, I'm going to say this right here. Everybody laughed at that, and I laughed at it at the first thing, too.
I just laughed.
Okay? But I checked with union officials who was with the BAC and everything when he was mayor of the city of East Cleveland. He was the first mayor in the state of Ohio to fire a civil service chief and was upheld by the Civil Service Board of the state of Ohio. He was the first mayor to suspend a union president, which was the police union president, for talking city business. Okay? So he has a record of saying and doing what he's going to do, and he has a record of doing it. Okay? So I checked into it, and I did my homework. So I'm not going to say that he can't do it. I've seen that he has do it. And he promised the people, citizens of Cleveland, the Cleveland Police Patrolman Association, sent out a letter, and this letter was marked back during the Tamir Rice case, and they came out asking the mayor to fire Michael McGrath and Marty Flash and Calvin Williams.
Lee Williams,
Calvin.
Calvin.
No, I'm just going to have to say it the way it is. And Jonathan Brewer has taken their statement in their words, and he has promised the citizen of Cleveland.
I got exactly what you want with Steve Loomis.
Yeah, read that again. Read that from his statement.
What Eric Brewer said about Steve Loomis. He said, Steve Loomis, and you have my word on this, better keep his mouth shut about non-union business. If he's still the union president when I take office, I suspended my police union president twice for that shit.
Wow.
Loomis is a patrol officer. He better stay in his place. There is nothing equal about a mayor and a patrol officer, and you can believe that shit.
Oh, no. Did you say that?
Yes, he did.
Okay, and he's serious about that. So I'm going right down the thing. I sounded the bells and the alarms back last year, the year before last. I kept telling everybody that police reform was coming down the line and that the unions needed to start going out to these town halls and sitting in these meetings and talking to the residents of the community. Because at this point in time, due to their lacks of going into these meetings, they have opened the door for Jonathan Brewer to step up there.
What you say?
Mayor Jackson is either going to have to put his big boy pants on and step up to Jonathan Brewer, or he's going to get spanked.
He's going to get spanked
because I'm looking at a thing that was sent to me by a group out of Portsmouth, Virginia. Police reform. For the first time in 25 years in the history of law enforcement, a police officer has been charged and convicted from a shooting in 2015 with involuntary manslaughter, and he's facing a 18-year sentence in jail.
Wow.
He's going to be sentenced within the next 3 weeks. Wow. We have a couple of other high-profile police cases coming up. We have a Cleveland police officer that's going on trial for involuntary manslaughter or involuntary homicide, okay, which luckily is just a misdemeanor. That case should be coming up. They talk about that also. We also have some other cases coming out of North Carolina, the mistrial of the police officer who shot the unarmed male.
Yeah.
The federal government came back and charged him with violation of civil rights. He's now facing a 15-year prison sentence when he goes on federal trial. And we have our police correspondent with us, Sax.
Where he at?
You know that police officers every day, now we was just talking about this in the chat room, you cannot.
Can I retire today?
No, you can't retire today because you know I had to get on Sax earlier because I'm tired of everybody painting everybody with one brush. We have good, outstanding first responders. Yes, we have bad police officers. I'm gonna say about 3%. Other people say it's higher, but I'm gonna say 3%. Okay, and yes, police. If you're a police supervisor or you're a police officer, and I don't mean to say me because I'm out of the field, but you have your department and you have to start doing better policing of yourself. That's where it starts at. Okay,
put the joint down.
That's where it starts at.
Well, you know, it's. I've said it several weeks ago when you asked me, when you had me call in, Sean. You asked me that same question, and I told you, it starts not in the academy. It starts when you get on the streets with your FTO. And I've said that then, and I'll still say it again. The field training officers are the ones that's really responsible.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it's the supervisors.
Well,
if the
okay.
supervisors,
you know,
if the supervisors,
you want to say supervisors
take their job responsibility and they properly lead, a good leader creates a good team.
Think about it. When that chase happened, when 137 shots was fired in East Cleveland, those supervisors was on the air calling those cars off.
But let me say this: when the supervisor in the old 5th district, I mean, no, I'm gonna say this about the chase you asked, okay?
Right.
When the supervisors in the new 5th district, the old 6th district, told their people to get out that chase, they got out the chase.
Because you know why?
Because they knew that boss was not going to have.
He wasn't having.
He was not going to have it. Okay.
That's right.
So it comes.
That was drumming then, wasn't it?
No, drumming. I ain't gonna say drumming, but it was supervisors. But I'm gonna say this: good supervisors.
He didn't play that.
Okay. Good supervisors are good leaders, and when you have a good leader, you have good men. And accountability starts with them.
I know. I used to have a pretty strong road boss and supervisor that if stuff get kind of crazy, I was like, because I knew.
But you have to look at this. Law enforcement, things happen, okay? And it's not something that you can plan. It's not something you can say because you don't have any control over.
Right.
Okay? So innocent people is going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Suspects are going to get hurt. Police officers are going to get hurt, okay? You have to take each incident by the merits of the incident that took place. You can't go back and say, because Joe Blow did this, you going to do this, or this is going to happen. This is one thing that I had the disagreement with the number 2 contender, Mayor Eric Brewer. A felony approach, okay? There's no rules to tell me how to approach a suspect. I can get trained. Training is a guideline. So when I get into a high stress situation, I revert to my training.
Exactly.
It's not a rule to say that you can do this because there's no way they can tell you to do this. Okay. And then when you go back into the situations that happened with the chase, there was a lot of problems. But if you come back to self-accountability, had the city of Cleveland supervisors and the mayor came out immediately to the community and told them point blank what was going on, what happened, we wouldn't have had the problem that we had.
No.
The Tamara Rice situation, had the police in the community came out and spoke on that instead of having someone else come out speaking on the behalf of the officers, and that's the problem in the chat room that they talk about.
There's protection. you know. Come on.
But we're not talking about protection. We're talking about city officials talking to the community, getting things in the proper order. When you let people like Brewer tell the citizens one thing and quote a law that is no good, that's what happened in Ferguson. The Ferguson Police Department failed to tell the community that their officer walked up on a felony suspect and had a confrontation. Instead, they let that bullshit rumor go out that he was stopped for jaywalking. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And you can understand why the community is upset, because why is my son dead and shot 40 times for jaywalking?
Yeah.
There's no way you could even imagine that, okay? Now, had the mayor come out and said, hey, my officers was looking for a felony robbery suspect. We have it on video, which they had.
Right.
And he came up on him, and there was a confrontation. He attempted to disarm the officer, and he was killed. The community right then could accept that before you had everybody else come in talking about a kid is gunned down, unarmed, jaywalking.
But okay, let's come to Cleveland. We do have a spokesperson that come out with the facts.
No, I'm talking
and
about
say,
the mayor. I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about the
all
mayor
right, I was about
and
to
the
say,
chief. Because the spokesperson for the city is only going to say what the mayor and chief want him to say. The mayor is the highest person, law enforcement officer in the city.
For the city.
The mayor is the elected official for the city. If he's going to pay the lawsuit anyway, okay, Tamara Rice's mother got all that money.
Yeah, $6
so,
million.
so if you're going to give him, pay that money anyway, tell the community the truth, so you don't. Your police officers are out there right now putting their life on the line, and the community think they're baby killers. That's the misconnect here.
Yeah.
Okay, when the mayor failed his responsibility, the mayor's required to come into the community and tell the community what's going on, how it's going on. Okay, whether they like it or not. Okay, he's required to.
Okay, but let's go to the Michael Brown incident. I mean, it was evident that it wasn't hands up, don't shoot, but they still created it anyway.
But wait,
for their own personal.
But see, this is the problem you have here, Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it evident by? When you let the community and people who's involved in the crime set the narrative, you talking about lawyers.
Once they did that, though, Sean. Once they saw, oh, he wasn't doing this. He was hands up, and then they like the shows. Well, let's go to the video, John. Let's go. And they went to the evidence to show that it wasn't that. And the coroner and the shooting team expert showed that it was a scuffle the way the cop explained it.
That's correct. But how long did it take them to say that?
What?
Weeks. Listen
so what
to
you
what
saying?
They
so
had
what
to
you
investigate
saying
it, though.
No,
they had to
no.
investigate it.
Let me say this, Sachs.
Okay.
Bullshit is bullshit. Okay? That's why the community does not trust law enforcement officers and have
because
issues.
they got their own personal.
But Sachs.
Well, I have to say
community,
from a citizen's
okay?
point of view, and I'm not siding with one or the other. But what I'm saying from a citizen's point of view, we can only go by what we see.
But you're supposed to don't.
And I understand what you're saying in that situation. Yeah, the facts prove that it went down just like the officer said. But at the same time,
he still got crucified.
When the shit went down, the mayor didn't step up and come down and say, "Hey, listen, my constituents,
That's
my
what I'm saying.
citizens."
I understand that point. I understand that.
This thing has got to be investigated. I'm gonna make sure that it's investigated properly. The spokesperson is going to take over. The police spokesperson is going to take over, and they're going to make sure they make their statement. But I'm going to make sure this investigation go down properly. And when the facts come, we will all view this together and check it out.
How many times have you heard the officials come out and say, "Let's hold our opinions until we get the facts"?
No, you can't hold your opinion. See, that's the difference.
See,
that's where you're hiding it. Let me tell you what the police officials should say.
All right, what?
Okay, the police officials should. And I'm going to say this just like I told Chief Williams and I told the mayor at the town hall. The police official should come out and tell the truth and what it is. Our officer approached a person who was a suspect in a robbery. Even if the officer didn't know that he was a suspect in a robbery, Michael Brown knew that he was a robbery suspect. And he attacked the policeman. The policeman didn't attack him. He attacked the policeman. Okay? So it's for the mayor to come out and say, our officer was looking for a robbery suspect. He came upon this male. There was a confrontation. They had the film. They knew he was a robbery suspect. Put it out there.
So in other
Had
words,
they put it out there, hands up, don't shoot, would have never flew. They let that fester for 2-3 weeks. After I shit in the front yard, wait a minute, let me say this, Sax. After I shit in the front yard, it's too late. The shit's already in the front yard.
And just don't
Okay.
run the lawnmower.
So you got to be serious with that.
I'm telling you this, Sean. When you have a situation, okay, just like the Tamir Rice situation, when the shooting happens and the news media runs that footage that day, already public opinion is already shouting, "Oh, racism! It's police this, it's police that," and they ain't even heard the facts yet. They already built up an opinion on what happened, and they weren't even there yet.
That's why the mayor and the chief, the two top officials of the city, has to come out. Not Steve Loomis, the president of the union, because his job is to protect the officer, right or wrong.
He's usually the main one that's running his mouth saying, "Hey, the police didn't do this, the police didn't do that."
But see, that's the problem, okay? Because he's not a city official.
What
okay?
you're saying is the mayor needs to be a first line of defense.
He
needs to be that buffer.
He should have had a news conference immediately.
Him and the chief.
Exactly, that's what
When
he said.
When they found
needs to be that buffer.
Wait a minute. When they found that little girl,
the mayor should have been the one to make the first statement.
The mayor and the chief was on the news 5 minutes later.
Was he?
Right.
When he fought
the freeze.
Okay.
So we talk about this, and this is what I talk about accountability. It's not the policeman's or the police union's responsibility to start accountability. Okay, that's why they have an internal affairs office. Okay, there's certain things that happens, and if you look at what's happening here on this platform for the mayor coming up in 2017 for the mayor's election, that's why people like Jonathan Burr and everybody else is created. Okay, this is why Black Lives Matters is created.
Come on.
Okay, this is why things happen. Okay, and I'm gonna say a lot of other groups. Okay, and it's gonna get worse because now you have prosecutors and you have judges who are no longer going to sit back and say, well, maybe I should make this ruling. No, I'm not going to make this ruling. We're going to put it before a court. Okay.
There you go.
Now, when you put it before a court,
that's a whole nother program.
Anything can happen.
Right.
Okay. What if you get a jury, the classic example, a jury, and you put a policeman that was doing his job. Okay. No wrong. And you put him before a jury and they convict him, put him in jail for 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Why should one officer be held accountable for something somebody else did? Okay.
Well, just like I'm gonna go back to the 137 shots. All them 137 shots, more than one person shot. You understand?
But you had 13. Well, we know you had 13 officers shoot. So I mean,
so
that's
therefore,
a little excessive.
But they only had one brother mainly under the spotlight, and that was the one that jumped on the hood of the car.
And that was unfair.
It was definitely unfair.
That is exactly what I'm saying right
definitely
here.
Unfair.
Hell no.
One guy. You got 137. You got 13 cops. You got 137 shots. You got one guy in the spotlight. They want to crucify. One.
Right.
What the shit? I wanted to crucify him. Hell, somebody was standing on the hood of the car.
He was on the hood of the car, firing into the window.
But hey, you know what? We got to go take a break right now to pay a bill.
Oh, we do.
We got to take a break on that note, and we'll be right back.
Great business needs a stunning website. And with Wix.com, you can do it all by yourself. Wix.com makes it easy to look amazing online, no matter what type of business you're in. Show off your images in a beautiful gallery. Grow your contact list and get all your social media in one place, just the way you want. Your customers are going to love it. So, what are you waiting for? Show the world what you can do.
Stop the madness. Keep it 100. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100 with your hosts, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 with live call-ins, heated discussions about current events, politics, national news, weather, and sports. Join our live online chat room and let your opinion show. Download our phone app. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100. Call us at 1-866-484-7865. That's 1-866-484-STMK. Stop the madness.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Earlier this week, Claire Tippins shared a princess nickname generator, 3 pictures of her dog wearing a tutu, and 2 online quizzes, including what candy is your dream castle made of? Claire, your sharing has tipped the sugar scale and turned into oversharing. But have no fear, princess. Geico has something worth sharing with your internet kingdom, like how you could save hundreds on your car insurance just by visiting geico.com. No magic wand required. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15%.
At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100. Check out Reverend Bill Miller's Bible study radio broadcast live on the new STMK Radio 100 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please listen in and support him as he joins the realm of broadcasting to encourage believers and offer the comfort of God to others across the airwaves. At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100. Also, feel free to contact him for prayer, counseling, and conversation at brobill9608@yahoo.com. That's BROBILL9608@yahoo.com. At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100.
STMK Radio 100.
prepared to fall down. Get back up and go for it. I'm prepared to try something totally new. I'm prepared to make my ideas a reality. I'm a Girl Scout. I'm prepared for whatever lies ahead.
You've been tuned in to Stop the Madness, keeping it 100 on STMK Radio 100. And now back to your host one more time, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone.
Well, welcome back with us tonight as we was talking about the 57th mayoral race for the city of Cleveland. And we was talking about rankings that we had with them, and that was the number 1 contender, Mayor Frank Jackson, the number 2 contender, Eric Jonathan Brewer. We're gonna take Jeffrey Johnson and make him 3rd, and then the number 4th contender is Brandon Koskowski, the CEO for the restaurant, big time executive, CEO executive. And I want to say this right now, with Eric Jonathan Brewer getting into the race, this is going to be very, very good. We also was talking about police reform, and I was saying something earlier about city officials getting out in front of incidents and communicating with the community, so you won't have that misunderstanding and you won't have that. I know that sometimes you can't actually tell them what's going on, but you need to let the community know the basics, so when lawyers and other people get involved, they're not spreading a false rumor. And the other thing about we was talking about with our police correspondent on police reform is that there's a platform here for police reform, and it's starting with our Republican legislator who is putting in the right to work legislations to strip unions of their bargaining rights. And I'm going to say this because Steve Loomis and a couple other people, they backed the Republicans and Donald Trump. And this is the thanks that they're getting, that they're going to be stripped of their union rights. Yep. Okay. And believe me, when this come back, and this is on the thing of police reforms, when Senate Bill 5 was before us, they came into the inner city and the Democrats and asked them to help vote that down. Okay. There's going to be a problem there now for the police unions to come back after backing Donald Trump, come back into the inner cities and the community and ask them to help them. That's not going to happen. So you can bet one thing, unions are going to be stripped, and they're going to be stripped for personal reasons, okay? That means the cleaning lady's going to get hurt. That means
ongoing battle for a long time.
Yep. And Sean, I think you need to go back and explain to the people, because everybody don't understand what this right to work thing is.
Right.
A right to work state is.
Okay.
I've been involved in this before. That means just
hold on. Let me get the thing right here.
All right.
Okay.
He getting ready to tell you.
Okay.
He getting ready to handle this
We
for you.
getting ready to run it down. It's called.
We like to keep our listeners informed.
It's called a lesson right here. A right to work state means that the legislator is going to strip unions of the right of bargaining, which means that they only can bargain for wages, nothing else, not discipline, not job safety, nothing else. Also, what it means is if I'm in a union, and this is quote out of the ordinance that's put in there, if I'm in a union and I say I don't want to pay union dues no more, as it stands now, I have to pay my fair share to the union for representing me and for getting the raises and the medicals and the little perks we get.
Correct.
Under the right to work state, I can tell the union to go jump and tell the city don't give the union no more of my money.
Well,
okay?
kiss Miss Mitchell.
Because what's going to happen is if the union argue and get a $10, say a $25 pay scale, the city's going to have to pay all their police officers $27. Okay, so you don't have to be in a union. Okay, but what the ordinance is for half the departments say, I don't want to be in a union. Okay, and what that does is that breaks the union. Now
it breaks that chain.
Now Jonathan J. Brewer on the police reform platform, and I'm going down this right here.
Eric
okay,
Jonathan
then Jay Brewer.
the man.
Okay. He's going to tell the citizens of Cleveland that no union official in the city of Cleveland would do any union business on taxpayers' dime. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what that means is, for the city of Cleveland, Steve Loomis is assigned to personnel, and he gets his regular salary as being assigned, and he does union business at that time. Okay. What Steve Loomis off your dollar. Now, what Eric, what I'm not gonna say Eric is pushing this, but on the police reform list that I have, that he said that. I don't know if he I heard him go into that, but I don't know if he's still that. That's why I want to talk to him. But what they're saying is they're going to put union officials back in the zone cars or back on the shifts, okay? And if they're going to do union business, they will not get paid by any taxpayer's dime.
You got
okay?
to earn your
Now,
imagine Steve
now,
Loomis
now that means that
back in the
what the union
patrol
would have
car.
to do, the union would have to have their lawyers on pay, and their lawyers represent the officers at the city hearings and stuff, or you're gonna have to take off or whatever. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of things coming. The second thing is on the union platform they have right here is that the state of Ohio and Attorney General, all shootings will now go before grand jury.
grand jury.
Okay, and that's out of police reform. Okay, the second one is the city is saying when they get sued, the city's been covering and paying officer share. Okay, under the new police reform outline, if the city gets sued and you are not operating within the color of the law and is ruled at,
Guess what?
they want you to pay the city back your pension, and you can be held accountable for any damages the city
Kiss
will no
Miss
longer do
Mitchell.
it.
You know, that's gonna keep a lot of cops in line.
Honest.
That's gonna make them be, but it's also gonna make a lot of them hesitate too.
Well,
yeah.
we got a caller. We got a caller on the phone over there.
Yeah,
we got a caller. Welcome to Free for All Thursday, and come on the air.
This is my boy Martell. He's on air, and he got some things to say about what we just talked
Martell, we was just talking about police reform. So why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think about police reform?
Oh yeah, you can call it slavery if you want to. But
He said slavery. You being silly now.
Kiss Miss Mitchell.
I mean, really, I was listening to you, and I was listening to your right to work state, and I didn't get everything, but I got enough. I got enough to know.
Well, on that quote, wait a minute, before you say anything, Martell, on that quote, Martell wasn't talking about police reform when I said that. Martell was listening to us earlier talking about the right to work state.
right to work state.
And you are 100% correct if you want to call it slavery, because they want you to work for $7 an hour. And this is a problem that Frank Jackson had that we didn't even get into it. The city of Cleveland was going to raise the minimum wage in the state of Ohio, and they let the councilman and then went to the state and asked the state to pass a law to stop them from getting that raise. And that's going to be on Jackson's neck also. He got to work.
Yeah.
But Martell, go ahead, finish your comment. Tell us what's going on.
He was totally against that raise. Jackson was.
Well, even with the raise, I mean, from my experience I've had with, we'll say, business, they may give you that money, but they know to find some kind of way to take it away from you. Anyway, I mean, if not all of it, at least a great portion of it. So I don't think people are really thinking about who this is going to affect. One of the things about the raise that was one of my concerns was what's going to happen to the mom and pop stores, small business, because they're not going to be able to afford to pay $15 an hour.
That's correct.
You know, now corporations, of course, that's nothing but a drop in the bucket.
So what about the unions? What you think about them?
But as far as the union is concerned, it depends on what union you're talking about and how effective they are, because all unions aren't effective. They're not. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't exist, because some are for the people. But for the most that I've seen, they're for themselves, because when you go to a meeting and you have a union rep with you, if you don't know how to talk, they're not going to talk for you, and they're supposed to be representing you. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Martell, I hate to cut you off right there, Martell. I hate to cut you off, but we're going to have you back on the show in the beginning when we talk about that. And people right now, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming in with us. Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, our affiliated New City. We'd like to thank you in San Francisco for picking us up. And one thing I want you to know, well, Doug, we talked about Jonathan Brewer. Eric,
we talked
we
about
talked about
Jonathan Brewer.
we talked about Mary Jackson.
Yeah.
And we have so much, but people, it is that time.
Fan base is big, I can't lose. Sugar bow down, I'm the next to rule, but I'ma stay on the cool, remain on the under, cause like Andre 3000, your boy's ice cold. Ain't no limit to the gimmicks and ways to make money. No limit to the just to act funny when you get that cake, cause you spit that way. They may love you tomorrow when they hate you today, but yo, that's the way the story goes. So I was told, following the rainbow down the yellow brick road. Please believe at the end, ain't no pie to go. Just some platinum beats from the Cleveland streets.
Well, Doug, it is that time for us to get ready to get up out of here. What you got to say to our crowd?
Hey, first of all, I want to welcome San Francisco. I want to thank all the people in the chat room for being on fire. I want to thank all our listeners. And like I always say, live, love, laugh.
And Sax Man, welcome for coming back with us one more time.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Sax, say something to the people in the chat room, because the chat room's fired up from your last comment about them black women last week. So you better smooth this over before you go off the air, man.
I'd like to give a shout out to a buddy, man, Gregory Hemphill. He runs the security agency, Cleveland Security and Investigation. He also runs the security company, Cleveland Community Police. Give him a call if you're looking for some good security. He's a great professional, and I like him. And thank you, Snapchat, and everybody for coming in and watching us tonight. This is a good show. Thank you, Sean, for having me. And Doug, we still looking for Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers come.
He coming.
Now, but I want to say this. I'm your host, Sean L., and I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you all for staying with us and being with us. Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram Live, Mixcloud, all our social media platforms. And remember my old saying, peace, love, and happiness. And until we meet again, I want all y'all to call on the Father. Have a good night.
You've been listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 on STMK Radio 100.